and welcome to the Disgruntled Traveler Podcast. Now that I got your attention, this story today centers around Serbia. You're thinking, what? She went where? Yes, I actually went to Serbia. Not a bad place. I'd say I would go again. All right, but let's get to the story. So anyway, I stayed in Belgrade for approximately a month, and then I decided I loved Serbia so much that I was going to go ahead and take a bus trip to the south side of the country. It's a 3-hour bus ride south to their third largest city, which is called Niš. Yes, now it's spelled N-I-S in English. It's not pronounced Nis, it's pronounced Niš. Okay, gotta get it right. Serbs get really pissed if you don't get it right. So anyway, it's a real nice bus, okay? So, it's cushy. It's one of those kind of big cruiser buses, right? You can put your luggage underneath in the compartment. And you got, it's a 2-seater on either side of the window, or the aisle. You can get a window seat. I was lucky enough to get the window seat. At least I thought I was lucky. I sat on the right side of the bus instead of the left. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why this is so bad, because I should have thought ahead of time where the sun was setting, okay? Who would ever think about the sun coming into the bus and being so intense that you would have to sit on the other side? That's what happened. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I'm sitting on the right-hand side. Luckily, I had the seat next to me empty, so it's just me. And there's a lady behind me, just her, on the window, and then there's a couple girls up in front of me, right? So I didn't think nothing of it. We start cruising down the road. I'm looking at the countryside. Everything's cool. There is aircon on the bus. However, it's very weak. It's a weak kind of air coming out from the top. And, it was just enough to take the edge off of the heat in the bus, but it was not by any means cold, okay? So we're cruising, and of course, heading south, the sun is setting in the west. I didn't think about this ahead of time because I thought, oh, maybe it'll be cloudy. Who cares, right? I'll just sit on the side of the bus. Now, grant you, there are curtains, on the window. It's sort of like blackout curtains that you can pull, and your window's like this big. It's super wide, right? Super wide. So the sun starts, it's like not right on my face, but it's like literally up, like right here, and it's beaming into my window at this angle. Okay, I'm pointing to the top right of my head. And it's beaming in, and it's starting to get really intense because it's coming through the window and it's getting amplified, which makes it hotter, right? And then I could feel, the side of the bus, the metal itself was starting to heat up. And I was like, whoa. So I got my blackout curtain. So I'm pulling the curtain, right? I pull my curtain to block the sun, which helped a little bit. Not much, but a little bit, to give me some relief. So it wasn't just like beating right on my head and on my face. But then as we kept cruising down the highway, it's a 3-hour ride. So naturally the sun is shifting in the sky. So now instead of it like right directly at a top right part of my head angle, it starts shifting towards like sort of a little bit diagonally more to the back of me, which is coming in across my face, in front of my eyes. So the curtain wasn't blocking it. There was like this one little gap on the top right of my curtain area that the sun was able to just like penetrate and come right up into my face. And it was bugging me. I'm like, oh my God. So I kept moving my curtain, but I couldn't block it. So then I noticed the girl behind me had her curtain pushed towards me. She didn't have it pulled, and she was sitting on the other seat, so she wasn't by the window. So I thought, well, maybe it's not bothering her as much. So I started pulling on her curtain. So I'm yanking her curtain towards me to try to block that one little gap of sun that was beaming in on me, right? So I'm doing this, and throughout the whole 2 hours, I had to keep rearranging the curtain. I had my little fan, which I don't have with me right now. I'd show you my little hand fan, you know, like a little kind of Asian fan that spreads out, and you can just like do this. I was doing like just fanning my face for 3 hours straight, literally. I couldn't sleep on this bus. I was fanning myself. I was burning up. So I was like, okay, this isn't working. So the next thing you know, sorry, I got somebody coming in on this thing. Oh man. Anyway, next thing I know, there we go. It's not working, you know, it's still beaming in, it's not working. Let me arrange this. And then the next thing I know, the lady behind me, I guess she decided to sit closer to the window, so she yanked her curtain back, right, to block the sun on her side. Now it's really beaming in on me, and I didn't notice her doing it. I'm like, what the hell? So then I go and reach back, and I yank the curtain back for her, and we're fighting over the curtain. It's like a curtain war, right? We're fighting, and then I hear her say something in Serbian, like, blah, 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 like she was mad. I could tell she was mad. So I was like, da, which means yes. So I was like, oh, shit, what am I going to do, man? The sun is still beaming. The metal is super hot. And of course, everybody who sat on the left side of the bus was chill. They didn't have no problems. They're sleeping. They're all comfortable, you know, but it's stuffy because the AC wasn't working that good. So I thought, okay, I'm going to move to the next seat that's close to the aisle to get away from the sun and from the hot metal of the bus. So I move over. It helped a little bit, but then guess what? Because she moved her curtain back, now there's a larger gap, and the sun now is starting to beat on the back of my neck and the other seat. I couldn't get away from the sun. And I couldn't get away from the heat. And I was like, oh my God, are we there yet? I'm looking at the clock, and I literally got 25 minutes to go to get to Niche, right? 25 more minutes of fighting with this lady with this curtain, dealing with the heat from the sun, and just dying. I was like, oh my God, hang in there, girlfriend, hang in there, right? So anyway, I make it. And I was just thinking to myself, this too shall pass. My back was sweaty. I mean, I was sweating. My butt crack was sweaty. My back was sweaty. I think I got a major sunburn on the back of my neck and on the side. And I was like, oh my God. So I finally get off the bus, right? And I was so happy to get off that bus. Like, I was like, hallelujah. I was like, fresh air, shade. I'm done. I have arrived. So that is the Serbian Express. Gotta love it. But remember, I am the Disgruntled.